Meanwhile, producers on the South Plains can now repair their own John Deere equipment. This week, the American Farm Bureau and the retailer reached an agreement giving farmers the right to repair.
KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Michelson tells us what this change means after years of discussion.
Change is rolling in for farmers across the nation. For years, only authorized dealers were granted tools and permission to make repairs on John Deere equipment.
What effect does that have on a farmer's pocketbook?
A lot. So in many incidents, a producer may be a couple hours from a retail facility where they will have to send somebody out or maybe contract with someone to move forward. So this will allow a little bit more flexibility for a producer to diagnose their own equipment.
Now farmers with the green and yellow tractors can do it themselves. Cody Besant with Plains Cotton Growers says in March, manufacturers already began allowing access to things like diagnostic code readers to go along with manuals.
Producers own their equipment, just like you as an individual consumer own an automobile. And so you have the ability to work on that as you deem fit or can. You do need some information to kind of help you diagnose it, much like a doctor would diagnose a patient, so that way they can go in and fix it.
The deal between the American Farm Bureau and John Deere states the retailer is committed to providing those tools and resources to farmers. When all producers were forced to go to authorized dealers, Besant says jobs piled up, meaning tractors were out of the field longer. He says the right to repair levels the field for independent repair retailers to open up shop.
There's going to be a lot more competition. Competition is great because it creates opportunity for individuals to repair, but also creates pricing opportunities too.
The deal still allows John Deere the right to protect its information. It'll meet with the Farm Bureau at least twice a year to monitor how the agreement is working. Besant hopes it leads to more manufacturers making the same change.
A good step in the right direction, but there's still a long way to go too.
Brittany Michelson, KCBD News Channel 11.